Welcome to Attari Classes. So stop being a running admin and start being a sitting admin. What is this? So my dear friends, we need to understand in today's video the difference between workgroup and domain. For example, there is a company which is having 100 computers, or let's say big company, 1000 computers, to get a good idea. 1000 computers are there, and this company is in workgroup. And this company requirement is that they want to set a wallpaper. What is the wallpaper? Wallpaper means desktop background. See, I will show you. Windows D. What you see on my screen is a wallpaper, this resort image. This image is the image which my computer is using as a wallpaper, meaning desktop background. So what company says that company's official image should be there, company's vision, mission, logo, everything should be there. All computers should have company's image, official image as the wallpaper. Now, if the company is in workgroup, you know what we have to do? We have to go to each and every computer, 1000 computer, and we have to go and do that setting to set up the wallpaper policy. So we have to go individual to each and every computer. So my dear friend, it is very challenging going to each and every computer. Now 1000, 2000, 10,000, 20,000, it becomes impossible for big set up big enterprises. So if the company is in workgroup, then this is the problem. There is no central management. Individual management is there. Plus, every computer has its own local database and it refers its own local database whenever any user login, like user one login in PC1 will refer its local database. Is the user there? Yes, user is there. Is the password correct, which is entered correct? Then the user is allowed to log in. Now, if we want this user to log in this computer, all the computers, then we have to create that user and set the password in the local database of each and every computer, which is very, very challenging. Going to each and every computer, meaning you are a running administrator. If your company is in workgroup, you have to run. Good shoes you have to buy. So my dear friend, from running admin become a sitting admin. How? By changing your company from workgroup to domain. So what is the benefit of the domain environment? So the benefit of domain environment is centralization. How the domain environment is created? We take a Windows Server operating system like 2025 and we install the Active Directory domain service and we get a database that is known as the Active Directory database, known as the central database, where all the company employees are created here, user 1, user 2 and so on. And we get something which is known as central management. Now, central management is known as group policy. Group policy interview question will come in upcoming video. Okay, what is group policy? So now, and what we get, one more thing. What we get is the domain environment. The domain environment is formed, and the domain name is example attari.com. And this server is the domain controller. The server on which the Active Directory service is installed is known as what? Is known as the domain controller. Now, what is the benefit? All the computers, they are part of the domain. We have to make them in the company, the member of the domain. And when they are the member of the domain, they are controlled by the domain controller. And whenever any user login in this computer by default send the username and the password to the domain controller. Domain controller checks here is the username and the password correct. The user is allowed to log in. Now, all the companies' computer who are part of the domain, they do the same thing. Meaning they send the username and the password. They send the they send the username and the password to the domain controller, and the domain controller check here. Is the username correct? Is the password correct? The user is allowed to log in. Okay. Now, whether it is your company's first floor computer, second floor computer, the user went to the meeting room, there the user want to log in. The user went to the boardroom, there the user wants to log in. The user can log in from anywhere because all the computers by default, they send the username and the password to the domain controller, and the domain controller checks in the central database, username and the password is correct, user is allowed to log in. If not correct, user is not allowed to log in. Okay. So central database centralization you get because of the domain environment. The next thing is wallpaper policy you want to set on all the computers. Very simple. You just create a wallpaper policy and the wallpaper will get applied on all the computers. So my dear friend, centralization is the power of the domain environment. So from a running admin, you become a sitting administrator and you do everything from one place. So coming back to our interview question. Workgroup, no central control. Each computer is independent. Central domain, central control using domain controller. Workgroup, local login on each computer. Domain, single login works across all computers. Workgroup local management on each computer, that wallpaper example here. Central management using group policy across all computers. Workgroup used in home are very, very small environment, 10, 15 computers. Domain environment is used in companies. Companies require domain environment, okay? And when they have domain environment, they require someone who can handle the domain controller, who has the knowledge of the Active Directory service. Company cannot take anyone that you sit and we will train you and you will learn. No, company is not a teaching place. Company is a working place. Company wants people who have knowledge. That's why for one job application, 100 plus people apply, and that's why interviews are taken to get the best candidate. Okay. Now coming to our point in simple one line, workgroup is a decentralized network where each computer manages itself, while domain is a centralized network managed by a domain controller. My dear friends, if you want more information about Windows Server, how to create a domain environment, how to join computers to the domain, how to create group policies, and like so many things are there. So if you want live hands-on practical training, we recommend you to go to our website lms.attariclasses.in, and there you will see multiple courses which we teach in Attari Classes, and you can watch the 2 lectures for free of any course. Bye.